No one person that is in here. Hey, Goat. I figured it was you or Stephanie. I have somebody else in here. So, hello, second person that is in here. I don't know who else is in here. I'm currently driving at the moment, so. Oh, I got three. Woohoo! I'm up to three people. Anyways, so it's time for an update. It's Saturdays. Of course, most of you know that I see my kids on Saturdays. Well, I just left from a visit with my children, and it's not going good. It's really not. Um, I ask that everyone that's in here, please continue to pray for my oldest son. He's 11 years old. And my son's really been going through a lot over the past few months. And my son has basically developed a state of psychosis. And he's gotten to where he's very nonverbal. And it's very alarming as to how bad it is. And today, as I was talking to my son, finally told my son, I said that, a couple of different things. And he actually looked at me and said that, what's the point in living if I'm going to be treated this way by daddy and nanny, which is his grandmother and his grandfather. And it's hard to understand and make out what he's saying when he goes to talk, due to the fact that he doesn't really talk at all. It's been this way since about August. I have tried my best to get these people to listen to me for a while now about my son and everything that he's going through, but everybody's always just blew me off. Nobody's really took the time to do what needs to be done to help my child. And now they're wanting to just say he's psychotic, and that's all there is to it. My son was institutionalized back in March. He was in the hospital for over 2 weeks. They hid that from me. I found out through the grapevine that my son was even in this mental institution. I went up there to try to go see him because, according to the judge, I get to see my son for 30 minutes every week. And for over 2 weeks, I did not know he was even in the hospital. And after he got out of the hospital, and I got to talking to him, and I told him, I said, you got to remember that we love you, and stuff like that. And my son looked at me, he's like, yeah, he said, Papa and Grandma love me. And I looked at him, I said, so you don't believe I love you? And he said, if you love me, he said, why am I still here? And that still rings in my head to this day, even though that was in April. And those words still haunt me because of what he's going through now. And then in August, he developed this tick-like behavior. And he got to where he wasn't really talking. He was mumbling, and what he was mumbling, you couldn't understand. And he was still talking to me a little bit, and I noticed the ticks starting, but he was still talking to me. And then just all of a sudden, it went to the ticks being very, pronounced, to where they weren't just small little ticks. They were very pronounced. You could see them visibly. You know he was going through ticks. You know that there was something wrong because the way he was just mumbling and the way he was acting and stuff. And today, I got him to talk to me for a little bit. And the other week, his grandmother allowed all of the children to see each other, including my children that I have at my house. So since 2018, they have seen one brother 3 times. They have seen the other brothers twice. And last year was once because we had a death in my family. So she did allow my children to come down and see each other. And he talked to me a little bit. He told me a joke that week and told me to put my hand in a fist. And he shook my hand up and down and said, "Monkey in the zoo." And today, as I talked to him and everything, well, I had to talk about good memories to get him to actually carry on a conversation to me to where you could understand it. And even the visitation program is very concerned about what's going on with him and how he's acting and the way he's doing things. But what really stood out to me is when he said, "What's the point in living if Daddy and Nanny are going to treat me this way?" So I'm coming here to ask y'all to please continue to pray for my son, because that's my baby. That's the reason I became a mother for the first time. That was my baby that was born on Father's Day at 7:11 p.m. That's the child that, while I was on the phone telling my dad Happy Father's Day, my water broke. You know, it's little things like that that just, those mean so much to me. It might not mean nothing to anybody else because it's not your child, but that's my child. And I don't want my child to give up at 11 years old. He has so much to look forward to in life. You know, graduation, his first car, his first car. Sorry, I don't know. I got kicked out. I did. I got kicked out all the way to the beginning. But at 10 years old, he was put in the hospital because he wanted to give up then. And now at 11 years old, he's developed so many problems. And it's just getting worse as the months go along. I've tried talking to the schools. I've tried talking to the hospitals. I've tried talking to CPS. I've tried talking to anyone and everyone I can. And I can't get nowhere. He just keeps getting brushed under the rug like nothing matters. And I don't want to lose my child. I don't. I have spoken with a lawyer and okay, so hey, pissed off Marine. And for those of you that think that I'm here to ask for anything, I am here to ask for prayers. That's it. I'm not here to ask for money. So far, I've paid $1,000 into the lawyer that I'm working on obtaining for all of this. Luckily, they work on payments. The only thing I'm really here to ask for is prayers. That's it. Because I don't want to lose my son. I don't. I don't want to see anything happen to my child. I don't care if you don't like me. You don't have to like me. But my son's never done nothing to nobody. That's all I'm asking for is for prayers. Because he deserves to be able to smile. He deserves to be able to laugh again. He deserves to be able to be a child again. And right now, he's fighting within himself. He's trying to stay strong. He's trying to hold on. But I don't know how long he can hold on. And that's what worries me. As a mother, that is the only thing that worries me. It's not his sisters. It's him. His sisters are happy. I mean, I know he's got one sister who wants to come home too. The other one, she's Daddy's girl, so she's very happy there and very content. I'm pissed off Marine. I understand that, like, I can sue CPS, but at the same token, right now, my main focus is helping him, saving him before something does happen. Suing CPS can take, I don't know how long, but saving my son, that's more important because If I don't save my son, something's going to happen. And I'm telling y'all that now. I don't know if it's going to happen to him or what, but something's going to happen. There's a lot that I've found out that I'm not going to disclose on here because that's information that's privy to the lawyer for the lawyer to be able to use. But I do know that even the lawyer that I've talked to sees exactly what I'm talking about. So for the ones that have thought for months where I've come on here and I've talked about things with my son and they thought that I was bullshitting or just blowing smoke or whatever, not. I haven't been. And it's just hard to see your child go through these things and knowing that your hands are tied because there's a court order involved and you have to do things the right way. It makes you sad because you wonder if you're going to get the call the next day or the next. Every day that you wake up, you're wondering if you're going to get a call that day. And it just scares me as a parent. It really, honestly, truly scares me. And I worry daily if I'm going to get that call. I don't want that call. And I know until my son is safe that daily I have to worry about that call. I mean, they have failed my child tremendously for the past 2 years when all this stuff started. 2 years ago when my son was talking about running away, but he'd be worried about food and his medicine and something to drink. At least I know he was worried about his seizure medicine. That's a good thing. He knew he needed that. But to the extent that he's at now, to where one doctor wanted to diagnose him with being psychotic. And the difference of the stories of what I've read and what I've seen, it just blows my mind. And to know that there are suspicions from other people, but yet nobody's done nothing about it yet. And I had to do something. So that's whenever I started looking for lawyers. And it's just today when he actually took the time to talk to me, because he didn't really talk to me like that. Because when he went into the state, he even shut down for me. And to know that today I was able to carry on a little bit of a conversation with him. And I told him, I said, help's on the way, son. Help's on the way. It blew my mind that he was like, what's the point? Like, because they've failed him for so long that he feels like there's no point in even trying anymore. Because it's just going to continue to happen. That's what he feels like. At 11 years old. So for those of you that believe in the power of prayer, please just pray that my son continues to have the strength to keep fighting through, to keep pushing through, to not give up. That's all I'm asking. That's all I want, is for him to not give up, to just keep pushing through. And where one or more gather in his name, he is present. And even though I only have 3 people in here, I hope that there's just maybe one of you, that do believe in prayer. And God can hear us and know that, we're asking to give my son strength to just keep pushing through. To let my son know that eventually everything's going to be okay. All he's got to do is just hold on a little longer. That's all I'm asking for. Because if any of you are parents and you were going through this situation and you see your child in the state that I see my son in, you would come here and you would ask for the exact same thing. Sorry, I'm getting ready to take me a sip of Dr. Pepper, y'all. Just bear with me. And then I'll go back to talking. Everyday things that my son used to love. Captain Underpants. He has no interest in. Five Nights at Freddy. He has no interest in. Olaf from Frozen. My son's always loved Olaf. Even at 10 years old, my son loved Olaf. All of a sudden, he has no interest in it. He has a few movies he'll watch, and then every time he gets to a certain point in those movies, he rewinds those movies. He never fully watches the movies. And it's like he's stuck on repeat. Like he don't want to move forward. He's stuck. And it's always the exact same spot in the movie. Never a different spot. The exact same spot. Every movie he does watch, including the Minions. He'll watch the Minions, and there's a few other things he watches, but he never fully watches the movie or whatever it is all the way through. He didn't go trick or treating. He didn't want to dress up. He can't stand for people to touch him anymore. He's lashing out at family members and at school. He hasn't lashed out at me. I mean, he did yell at for me the first time the other week and told me to quit following him around the room whenever we were in visitation. That's the first time my child's ever raised his voice to me. My son's never yelled at me. So that kind of blew me away that he did do that. But life has got to get better for my son. And I just need him to hold in a little bit longer. So for those of you that have stuck around, I know I had like 6 here earlier and then it went to 4. And I know I've had the 3 people, so I'm assuming it's Pissed Off, Maureen, and I know Goat's here. I don't know who the other person is here. But for those 3 that have been here this whole time and that have really do appreciate it. And if you could, just please pray for my son. I'd appreciate it even more. Like I said, all I'm asking is that you pray he has the strength to not give up, to keep pushing through and to keep fighting. And that he gets through this. Because I don't want my son to give up. I want him to know that there is still a reason for living, even though he is getting treated the way he is by his dad and his grandmother. I don't know how they're treating him because I'm not there. So I can't say what is and what isn't going on. But he does have family that love him and that care about him and that want him here. And that don't want him to give up. He needs to know and be reminded that he's here for a reason. Whatever that reason may be, he's here. My son's going to do great things in life. I know he is. My son is smart, smarter than most kids his age. But now all of a sudden he's just shutting down and basically becoming a zombie and living in hell in his own life. And that's what worries me. That one day he's going to say he's had enough and that he can't take it no more and that he's going to try to end his life. And I don't want that because that's my baby. And I just thank y'all that's here or that's even watching this recording, whatever it is, for actually just listening and for praying for my child. Because that's just, it's the scariest thing to me to think that at any moment I can lose my child. I've lost a child before through a molar pregnancy, but to know that I've had this child for 11 years and he was my first. And the pain I felt whenever I had the molar pregnancy and I lost that child, this child I've loved and cared for and nurtured and fed and clothed and, spent sleepless nights in the hospital due to seizures and other things that he's been through and stuff. Like, that's kind of different than the child that I've carried. And I wonder what if, what this child would be like. This child, I know what it's like. And he's brought so much joy and happiness to so many people. And he's always been loving and he's always been caring and compassionate. Like, he's always loved his little siblings. He's always loved his older siblings. There's just so much about him. And I don't want to lose that. I don't. So for any of y'all that have a heart, just please pray for my child. That's all I'm asking. Because I'm scared. And a lot of y'all here that I've, grown close with over the years. Y'all matter to me. And like I said, I can honestly say, as a human being, I'm scared of what's going to happen. I really am. This is one time where typically I can always say when shit hits the fan that I can have my head on straight, I can be clear, I can think clear. I'm not irrational and this and that and the third and blah blah blah, and I'm smart with my thinking and stuff and everything else, but this is one time where I just don't know what else to do because everywhere I've turned, I've always hit a roadblock. The only other option I had was the lawyer. And I'm working on the lawyer now, so hopefully maybe I'll stop hitting roadblocks. And I can save my children. But until then, he just needs strength. That's all it is. Just strength to keep pushing through. And I appreciate y'all for being here. I'm gonna hop off of here now. And just, if you have children, remind your children daily that they're loved. I understand we get busy with life and then things happen and whatnot, and sometimes we don't always have the time. But just remember, jobs come and go, your children don't. You can't replace your children when it's too late. You can always replace that job or that career, not your children. And that's one thing I can honestly say. Is that I've always looked at it in life that way. And just remind them daily you love them. Because you never know what they're going through. And they need to know that they are truly loved. Every human deserves to be loved, no matter what. So I appreciate y'all being here. Thank y'all for listening. And I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your weekend.